Okay, we will warm up with a calculator problem, which will be on the test come Friday. We will. All right. So here it is, typed in. Hopefully I typed it in right. Now, let me tell you about the test on Friday. You start with this problem and a calculator, and then when you finish it, you raise your hand and turn it in and get the second part with the other 19 questions that you do without a calculator. All right. No way you can take like a half hour to do one problem. Okay, if you don't know what you're doing, all right, it's because of what you're doing right now. Okay, if you're not paying attention, you're gonna be the one going, how do we do this? Okay. And you're just gonna have to turn it in blank. All right. But hopefully you know what you do. You know how to type it in, you know how to press graph, you know how to press draft. Hopefully I can figure it out. Yeah. And remember, we're trying to find these four things, this time with a calculator. All right, name that spot at the bottom, that vertex. Is that a low point or a high point? Low. So what do we call it? Minimum. Okay. And where is the magic button? It's the trace button, but you got to go second trace to get there. And here's all the good stuff. All right, which one are we going to use for the vertex? You said number 3, minimum. All right, and where are x-intercepts on there? Zeros. Okay, and then y-intercept, we'll talk about that. Axis symmetry, I don't think anyone's missed that one yet this year. You're pretty good. So let's take a look at the technique. Remember this? Okay. There's the answer. Now we need to do like left bound over here, right bound over here, and then enter. So is my Lincoln X to the left of that red line? Yeah, it's kind of close though. Which arrows do I use to move it? Side to side. Side to the side. My life. Okay. So then once you have it where you like it, hit enter. Do mine by hand. And now we move it till it gets to the right. Those that can see, tell me when I get there. Thank you. Okay, and then when I hit enter the third and final time, okay, all I got to do is round to, what's our rule? 1 decimal place. And let's see. Point what was that on your calculator? 0.3. And then what is that there? Negative 3.3, right? You do round properly, of course. Yeah. Axis of symmetry, what does it always start with? X equals, what does X equal? 0.3. So that was that red line I drew through it. But, okay. That was the heavy lifting, some of it. Now let's look at the picture again. All right. Actually, forget the picture, because this will be the easiest question on the test. How do you find y-intercepts again? Put 0 in for all the x's. Whenever all the x's are gone, what's the only number there? -3. Okay. Yes. I went through the whole process with the left bound, right bound, enter. That's how you do it. Okay. But you're going to get to see it again if you pay attention, because we got to do that for the x-intercepts, right? So off we go. Second calc, you said 0. It's not 0, it's 2, but I hear you. Okay. And now let's find that guy over there. Nice to see this, wouldn't it? Wonder why that's not working. Yeah. Yeah. But now we're trying to find that guy, so your left bound's gotta be over here somewhere, right bound over there. All right. Pay attention. Is the blinking X to the left of our answer?
Yes.
This time, yes, thank goodness. Hit enter. And then we said what? Move the X using the side to side arrows. Even though it's going up, gonna have to use the sideways arrows. Hit enter over there and enter a third and final time. And what did you guys get? 1.4. 1.4. Thank you for saying it properly. Oops. Yep. And save me the going through this. What'd you get over here? Anybody blurt out?
-0.7.
Negative point step. Anybody second the motion on that? Anyone else get negative point step? Okay. Good enough? Okay. Yikes, bro. We've done it twice. And today we've done it twice. We did a whole worksheet on it. Okay. Second trace. And then 0. Now, you just want to make sure you're blinking X to the left or the right. And you hit enter. Then when you hit enter the third time, it gives you the answer. All right, put that aside. Let's get to maybe a good quadratic formula problem from your homework. Your pick. 35. Let's see, I know we skipped 23, right? 27, 31, 35. Yep, we did 35. Last time someone asked me to do a problem we didn't even have on the homework and nobody told me. They're like, did we do that? I was like, no, we didn't. Okay, 35. They want, and this is definitely a test question, right? Boom. Find the discriminant and then say what it means. So what is the process? Yeah, that didn't work either. All right, what do you got to do first before you can use quadratic formula? Make sure it equals what? No, that's a complete square. 0. Yeah. So what's the one step for number 35 that you got to do to get it ready? Add the 3x squared. Okay, so this just turned into positive 3x squared plus x plus 2 equals 0. And away we go. Squared, what was it? Plus x plus 2 equals 0. Okay. And you know these got to be in descending order or you're cooked. Okay. All right. Before we plug it in, identify what's baby A. 3 with baby B. 1 and baby C is 2. Okay. You don't have to do that. That didn't give me any answers or anything, but it might help me to keep from putting in the wrong stuff here. Okay. So let's see. Don't write this down because they didn't ask for it. Yeah. They didn't ask you to solve it, but which part of that is the discriminant?
B squared minus 4ac.
Just the, not the square root, but what's underneath it. That makes sense? So all you need to do is this, and there better not be a square root in the answer. Okay, so what's b squared? Don't strain yourself. I got you. 1 minus 4 times 3 times 2. What's 4 times 3? That's 12. 12 times 2 is 24. So what was our discriminant? Negative 23. This will be 2 out of your 20 questions on the test. I'll ask you to find that guy. Okay, and then the other question will be, well, what does that mean? Okay, therefore, how many solutions? 2, and what kind? If it's negative, imaginary. Good. Hang on, bro. Oh, all right. Would negative be -1? Yes. I sure did, because what did it say to do to B? First of all, it did not say negative B, it said positive B, and then it said to square it. So everybody's positive after square. Negative B is way out here. That's if you want to solve it, which putting one of those on test 2. But are we okay with this deal? I'll give you the chart. What the heck? But 2 imaginaries. Did the book say a different answer? Probably. I think the book said this. They mean the same thing. If there aren't any real, then what are they? They're supposed to be 2. They must be imaginary. Okay. So on my test, I'm gonna ask for this. All right, but they do kind of mean the same thing. All right, and let's show off since you mentioned it. Okay, what are the 2 solutions, the 2 x-intercepts? What is opposite B? -1, plus or minus, you already told me -23, and then double A 6, right? Double 3. Yeah. I'll accept this for full credit. Why? Because radical 23 done, right? But I do want you to do this. What did we call this? Pulling the I out. You. Okay. So that would officially be full credit answer. Both of them. That is hideous. Wow. You imaginary x-intercepts, which means it doesn't touch the x-intercepts. It floats above it. Yeah. All right. That was a good one because we had to do everything for that. So last call then. Anything else different from the homework? 19. If I can find it. Yeah. All right, 19. This is trying to trick you here. All right, it's supposed to equal what again? 0. So you got some work to do. What's the first step? Yeah, let's distribute. We get what? 4x plus 2. And then what's the next key step to get it equal 0? Move them both over. So it would be 3x squared. What is this going to be? Minus 4x and minus 2. And then you'll put those in quadratic form. Yeah. Yeah, they like not giving it to you in the right form, don't they? 16 and 22 aren't ready to go either. All right. But very easy. I'll give you the quadratic formula. Just got to make sure it's in the right order and plug in ABC. Okay. All right. Is that it for old? Okay. Nobody asked, and not many more of you did, but what about 68? Okay. Discriminant can either be positive, negative, or 0, right? All right. And let's see, when it's positive, what do you have to what kind of answers? Real. That's B because it crosses the x-axis twice. What about when the discriminant equals 0? 1 answer, and it's a double root, and that's this guy, right? C, how many times did C hit the x-axis?
Once.
Once. That's the 1 answer. And we just talked about this. when you have imaginary answers,
I don't.
you'll have to imagine that it hit the x-axis because it won't. It floats above it. Yeah, so that's not a super important problem, but it is to understand going forward. All right. When the answers are imaginary. Yeah, it doesn't come close to that. All right, guys. Right, if the discriminant's negative, like that one we just did half a minute ago. All right, let's go. Today you picked a good day to be here, always, or at least to watch the video. We're going to talk all imaginaries today. Imaginaries. Here is the building block for all imaginary numbers. Not the first time you've seen this. Okay, but a negative under the radical means imaginary. Yeah. Yep. So again, what do I do when I see a negative under radical? Pull it out, call it I, and then what's the square root of or a positive one?
One.
1. So the answer is 1I. Okay. So on the test, or at least the homework, what if I give you this one? Write it down, don't strain yourself. As simple as 7I. 7I. Okay. Let's talk. Okay, so you turn the negative to positive, and I always draw that and extend it over here to remind myself to pull that out front. Now the square root of positive 49 is 7. Okay. Now, why not plus or minus this time? What do I always ask? Who drew the radical? Not me. It was already there. The original problem says square root of negative 49. Yeah, so if that's the case, positives, good enough. Good enough, good enough. Okay. So that's simple stuff. We're going to do operations with it. But first, let's talk about the eye chart. Put this down, the eye chart. I did first, I did second, I did third, I did fourth. Yeah. And here they are. I had the ball. I did the first, that's easy. That's just I squared. Don't write this down. You said square root of negative 1 was I. What would happen if I squared both sides? What would I get? What would happen over here? The square would do what? All right, so now we know I squared equals what? just plain old -1, okay? Now you can write that one down. And how do you make an I cubed with an I times an I squared? So multiply those two. Get I third, so multiply these two and get what? -1 I. And how do you make an I to the fourth? Two ways. How about I squared times I squared? So what happens when you multiply I squared twice? What's -1 times -1? Positive. Okay. Getting there. Yes, but this is it. All right, and I know Miss McGuire, if anyone had her, I opened the door and her kids were yelling, I won, I won. With negatives in the middle. I won. I won with negatives in the middle. Okay. So what are we using this for? Let's see. Give me a number, any number. So, 7. Let's stick with that one first. We'll do 3 of these. All right. So we want to get I to the 7th and simplify it. And here's your 4 choices. It's either I, 1, or -I or -1. Anybody got any ideas? What do you think it is? Use the I chart. Anybody think they got it? One, nope, not one. Not one. How about this? What could I use to make up a set? What numbers? So I to the 3rd times I to the 4th. Hopefully in algebra 1, you know that multiply means to do what with the exponent?
Add.
Okay, so do you understand this is I to the 7th? Okay, and now sub in. It's I to the 3rd. -I, what's I to the 4th? 1, so what does that equal? Negative I. Okay. So where did that come from? Watch this. After the first 4, why isn't there an I to the 5th? Because how do you make a 5 with a 4 and a 1? And every time you get 4, it's just 1. So it's going to come up here. This is I to the 5th. This is the 6th. There's the 7th. So it repeats every 4. Okay. Now, what if I give you a bigger number than 7, like 123? What are you going to do? Cry? No. Here's how you're going to do it, and then I'll give you try. Yeah, 123. And there's one person that's going to sit there and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the day will end, and we'll just say, "Shut the door when you're done. Turn off the lights." All right, here's how you do it. How many 4s are in here? Divide that by 4. How many I to the 4ths are there?
30.
Yeah, I'll do it down. Yeah. You said there are 30?
0.75.
Well, how about this? 30 and then leftover, how many? Okay. So there are 30 I to the 4ths, and then the leftovers, there were 3 more. Okay. And this will be your aha moment. What's I to the 4th?
1.
one. What's one to any power?
1.
One. So you're allowed to cross out, throw away any sets of 4 you want. So who's left? The leftovers will give you the answer. So what is I to the third?
Negative I.
That's it. Okay. So I showed you why the answer is negative I, because you threw away 120 of them. That just equaled 1. So it'll always be the leftovers down here. Okay. Think you ready? Fly solo now. Okay. Divide by 4, throw away the whole number. The leftovers will give you the answer. All right, here you go. How about, what year are we in? Let's see. 2020. All right. Give me an answer here. Is it I, -1, negative I, or positive? Get this time?
Negative I.
Again? Yeah, I think you're right. So, again, on test, this will be in the non-calculator part. So you're gonna have to go second grade here with your division on the side. Okay, let's see, 4 goes into 20,
5.
5 times, 4 times 5 is 20. Then what?
0.
Okay. 4 goes into 0, 0 times. Whoops, or should I say into 2? And then 4 goes into 23,
5.
5 times. And once again, our leftovers are 3, put an I underneath it, so I cubed is
Negative I.
negative I. Okay, so I'll put one of those on the test. See if you can use the I chart. Okay, good enough? I chart. All right, really, let's see. Couple things here. Skip that one. All right, don't write this down. Do not. Okay, but do this with me. So there you were, preschooler. All right, what's the answer to this one? You got 5 green blocks plus 2 green blocks. What do you got? 7 green blocks. Good. In no way should that answer be 7 like red blocks. Okay, and let's freshen it up. Little algebra 1. What's 5x plus 2x? 7x. At no time should that ever say 7x squared. Okay, because that's the equivalent of a red box. Okay, 5 greens plus 2 greens equals 7 greens. Okay, don't change it to x squared. All right, how about with the radicals? 5 radical 3s plus 2 radical 3s give you how many radical 3s? 7. So this is and I won't skip this one. What's the answer?
7 smiley.
7 smiley face. So do you get the message? Don't change what you're adding. Just tell me how many of them you got. All right. And here is where we're going next. All right. Solving this one right now. This is taking your eye chart knowledge. Do a couple of these. All right. So let's pretend this was like a month ago. Solve for x, okay. 2 steps. What do you want to do first?
Okay.
Go ahead, divide by 3. And where does that put you?
Negative 25.
X squared, right, equals
Negative 25.
-25. Okay. Last step, you should be able to do on your own. Try that. Okay, guys, last step is to do what? Get rid of the square. Square root, who put that square root there?
We did.
This time we did, so what's the answer gonna be? It's plus or minus for sure, and we've already been through this today. What's the answer for square root of negative 25? 5i. Okay. All I got to say for that. Right. So expect a few of those. And I think last thing today, we're going to do ops. Add, subtract, multiply, divide. Oh, save that. I said I would do 2 of these. All right. This one, this is going to be the most missed on the test Friday. So let's give this some serious look. First glance says this. We've got 6 of these plus 1 of those minus 1 of these. This is the old green block, red block thing. Which are the only 2 you can put together right now? Square root of -3. How many of them we got? What's 6 minus 1?
5.
Okay, so your first step to get you to half credit land is to add those 2 together, subtract and get that, but you still got this 1 radical 12. Okay, so if you give me this, you did something right. But you guys are a high flying honors group. What could we have done to radical 12? Yeah.
If you could die.
There's no negative, or was there? There was. Dadgummit, no half credit if I don't. Right. Yeah, you do the I thing, but no, I was talking about something else. I don't know, you call it birthday cake. What is radical 12? Simplify it on your own. Not done. We're trying to do square root of 12. Simplify. Like it was day 1 algebra 1. I factored 12 and I got 2 times 2 times 3. What do you need before you can pull something out? A pair, right?
Yep.
So a pair of 2s means a 2 comes out. And who didn't have a buddy? Back in the fridge with 3. Okay, so go back over here now and write this. Radical 12 is now 2. Radical 3. Do we have green blocks now? Yes, we do. How many you got? 5 of these plus 2 of these make plus 7 of them. Okay, and what would I expect you to do to get that last point of credit? You can't leave a negative under here. You're gonna do what? Call this
7I.
7i radical 3 is the answer to that problem. Okay, so star that one. Oh my,
Is it the same number that you just,
say it again.
is it the same like number problem or is it?
Of course, I'm gonna change the numbers. All right. We could do another one though, if you want. Give you a shot at it. All right. Right. Boom. Green blocks. All right, looking good. Let's do the radical 20 and know this is coming. Okay, this is the only trick I got, right? So you know I'm doing this. But right now we got 10 green blocks minus how many? How many are here? One. No, just there, right? So 10 of those minus one of those gives you 9. 9 of those. Don't change it to something else like 25. Okay, and then what'd you get for radical 20?
Two.
And then 2, 2's done. 5 and 2, they're done. And what did we have a pair of? A pair of 2's means the 2 comes out. And who didn't have
Five.
Buddy? 5 goes back in the fridge. 9 of these minus 2 of these give you how many of these?
7.
7 of these. And I don't know why, but I think that's gonna be one of the worst ones on the test, but I think you gave it the proper look today. Okay, you gotta know how to simplify a radical. I guess that's the thing. Okay. All right, last stop today. As promised, the operations for complex numbers. We're gonna add, subtract, multiply, and divide. That'll do it. All right, complex numbers. Here they are. Complex, they are part real, like the 6 is real. And part imaginary, so the -2i is the imaginary part, so that complex is the term. All right. So step 1, we're gonna try adding these. The plus between them. All right, and we've kind of already done this. Chapter 1-6, combinations, compositions, that rings a bell. What do you add? Which pieces? Oh, that's the phrase that pays. You combine like terms. So write that down and then do it. And what are you gonna get? Nobody better miss this on my test prep. Yes, write this up next to complex numbers. This is the proper form, A plus BI. Real part comes first, the imaginary second. Okay, so add the real parts. What do you get for 6 plus a -3? 3, and add the imaginary parts, -2i or -2i plus positive. Think blocks. Nobody messes up blocks. Okay. So -1. There is your full credit answer. Okay. And check, is it in A plus, is it in A plus BI form? Yeah, which one's A?
3.
3, so that has to come first. All right, if you put -I plus 3, you ain't wrong. But it's not in the right form, so I'll have to take off one whole point. Okay, to get your attention, like I usually do. Okay, so that was adding. Next stop, write the same thing with a minus in between. Let's subtract. Okay. Same problem, right, minus. Think back to those notes from last unit. We don't subtract it here. What do I tell you to do instead?
Distribute, make it add.
So add the opposites. Okay. So why don't you try on, hopefully you use my method of changing it to addition. Getting the right answer is important. It's any way you want to do it. This one here. Yeah. So you got 9. You divided it for no reason, and then threw it away and gave me the wrong weights. Showing off, that's really like I know how to divide it. All right, let's go. All right. What was that correct answer?
9 minus 3.
So anyone second the motion there? Yes. Yeah, I'll go with that, but let me model for you how it's supposed to be done. Okay, back in. Yeah, back in middle school, what did we say? We never subtracted. What did you do instead? You added the opposite. Did you change the 6? No, so don't change the front guy, change the back guy. Okay. Okay, so here's what you should have done. Add the opposites. You're good at adding, right? We already did that problem. So add them up with 6 plus a 3, 9er, half credit achieved. And what's negative 2i? And then you're adding negative 1 more I, so that's minus 3i. Okay. Subtracting. Someone's gonna miss that. Stubborn person, I'll bet they're not gonna distribute the negative. All right, 2 to go. Multiplication. So same problem, put a multiply between them. Or put nothing between them, right? Okay. And we're gonna do 2 of these. This one. Okay, what's the phrase that pays this time?
Foil.
All right, but write this, foil with a twist. Oh, you'll see. You'll see. All right, so there you are, a foiling. Why don't you do that for practice? Foil this, since we were horrific at it in that 4-question algebra 1 thing. I have to use the foil. Yikes. We need practice. That's what you're telling me again. I need to. Gather up any like terms after you foil, if there are. Sometimes there aren't. And then. All right, foil with me. F stands for first. 6 times negative 3 giving you. -18. O stands for. Outsides. So what's the outside 6 times the outside I? 6i. Don't forget the plus. I stand for inside. What's negative 2i times negative 3?
Positive 6i.
Positive 6i again. And then L stands for last. And negative 2i times another I gives you negative 2i squared. Okay. I plus I is 1 blue block plus 1 blue block, 2 blue blocks, but I times I is I squared. Okay. Just like 5 times 5 is 5 squared, not 10. Okay. All right.
Doesn't matter what order you put in it.
No. So if you don't like foil, you can do flyo. Okay, or Loith, you can do Loith. Okay. Whatever you want, just make sure you spell it using one of those letters. All right, so which piece? Piece says, could you add together immediately?
The six I.
Yeah, right, cause you got -18, that's like, -18, blue blocks. But now here, you've got 6i and 6i some more, all that. How many? 12, okay, so here you are. And you're ready for the twist, here it comes. And can you say this will happen like every single time? Who is that? Look at your eye chart.
-1.
Your eye chart. That's always gonna equal what?
-1.
-1. So you will always cross out. And do what with this? What's -2 times negative?
Positive.
Positive. So, as far as I'm concerned, you don't ever have to write the -1. It's there. All you gotta do is cross out and change. And now gather up the A's. What's -18 plus 2?
-16.
So there's A, and what's the BI plus
Plus
12i? So star that one. That was supposed to be the toughest one or one of, okay? But it will always happen. If you ever get an I squared, cross it out and change it from positive to negative or negative to positive. So that was your FOIL problem. All right. Let's see, same problem. Same problem. There for you. All right, write this one down. Yeah, it's not FOIL, it's what? When it's a monomial times binomial. Distribute, right? All right, so why don't you distribute and give me that final answer? Beware. I squared. That one always gets changed. I like this one. You're gonna see this one. All right, we distribute. What do you get first? Positives,
6I.
6i, and then what's this? Minus 2i squared, which we said what? Always, always, always. Cross out and change. Now, why did this person with this correct answer lose a point?
Because they didn't swap
Yeah, which one is A?
the two.
So that's gotta go first. A plus BI. Okay, star that one. That's definitely on the test. I like that one. All right, last stop today. What have we missed? We did add, subtract, multiply, and division. Go back to your original mess here. Let's see. And let's see. How about, let's leave -3 plus I upstairs. And let's see, let's put that guy on the bottom. Write this, so it's -3 plus I divided by 6 minus 2. All right. If you remember from when we did these without the i's earlier, okay, you could factor and cancel. However, okay, this will not be possible a lot of times. All right, so I got to show you a second way, which is called, and I'm glad you're still awake. This will be the biggest challenge of the day. Yeah, I know, me neither. Yeah. I got to write it over here so that you can see it. Yeah. So to divide, you got two possibilities. You could factor and cancel, but that doesn't happen every time. So the one I got to teach you is multiplying by something called the complex conjugate. So copy that down and I'll show you how to do it. Now, did we do this for, I think we did. Gotta look back at those notes I gave you on combinations. Anybody have those? You not? All right. Put those back, just so we get practice. Factor. What comes out of the bottom? Remember how bad we were with this too? Let's go. What comes out of there? Two. We don't throw it away. We pull it out. So what's left down there when you pull out a 2? 2 times 3 and 2 times I. Okay. So we factored the bottom. And we cross it out with this. Close. Do we have 3 minus I? Almost. What's the trick? How do I turn that? What do I pull out to make it +3 and minus I? -1. That's an honors level trick there. You can pull out the negative sign. What just happened? -3 is now positive. And positive I is now negative. Okay. So factor, what's less? Factor and cancel. What cancels? Gone. And what is our full credit correct answer? -1/2. Let's remember that, because when I finish showing you multiplying by a complex conjugate, we better get the same answer.
And why is it -1?
It was factored out so that we could have the same thing on top and bottom that I crossed out. Okay. But that's old. Let me show you multiplying by complex conjugate, the new.
This is the final answer to -1.
Yes. All right, so here it is. Tough thing we got this whole chapter, maybe. Let's see. All right, this is the troublemaker. We got that I in the denominator, no good. Okay, we're gonna multiply by this number. What happens if you multiply by 1? Anything. What do we multiply anything by 1? Same thing. So, you know, the bank lets me multiply my account by 1 every day. Doesn't change. So we're gonna multiply by 1, but it's gonna be a crazy looking 1. And all you gotta do is change that sign. So now it's gonna say 6 plus 2i. 6 plus 2i. The blue, you simplified it, would equal 1, right?
Yeah.
6 plus 2i over 6 plus 2i. That's just the funny looking 1 that we're gonna multiply by. And it's called the complex conjugate. And what do you change? Only the
Time.
middle sign. That's all you gotta do. All right. So now let's look at what's left. All right. If we foil the bottom, watch what magic happens. There'll be no more eyes. What do you get first? Foil,
36.
36. Outside gives you what? 12 eyes, but what do the insides give you?
Negative.
Minus 12 eyes. This will always happen. You can write them, or you can just know that they're going away and do first times last. What do you get? Negative 2i times positive 2i, negative 4i squared, which turns into what? What's now on the bottom?
36.
40, thank you. Okay, and I'll bet you dollars to donuts, we're gonna get, what, 20 upstairs, right? But let's see if we do by foiling the top. Okay, what do we get when we foil the top? What do you get first?
Negative.
18, this time we. Usually the insides don't go away, but this time I think they do. What do you get outside? Minus 6i, and then inside plus, okay, this doesn't always happen, but it sure did this time. And what do you get last? What's I times 2i plus I times 2i is 2i squared. Cross out and change, right? I squared goes away and turns 2 into, no, turns 2 into negative. And what is negative 18 minus 2 more, negative 20? And did that give us the same answer as before? Negative 1/2. Yeah. Which is what I want to see, negative 1/2. If it factors and cancels, you have my blessings, but you absolutely positively need to know this multiplied by the complex conjugate thing. Yeah, so how about a quick you try? More to see if you know the how. Okay. This will be easier.
The complex conjugate, you always have those.
Change the little sign. Okay, so write this one down. And what do we multiply by? You're gonna change that guy, right? So what is it? 1 minus 3i over 1 minus 3i. I'll do the top for you. It's 1 minus 3i. All right, you foil the bottom. And we'll talk about the answer. Final answer. Remember, there will never be middle terms down there if you pick the right complex conjugate, which you did. From the bottom, look at me. Don't strain yourself. What do you get first?
1.
1. Gotcha. Minus 3i plus 3i, they're gone. No surprise. What did I tell you? They will always be gone. And then what do you get last? What's 3i times minus 3? Negative. Negative 9i squared,
Yes.
which turns into. Cross out and change. So what's on the bottom?
10.
10. Right, and I will give you 9 points out of 10. What form do I need to make sure this is in? A plus BI. So how about you roll out your kidney beans? What's A?
10.
Nope.
Well,
1/10. That's A. Minus what's BI?
3/10.
3/10 I. Okay. 3/10 I. And look where I want the I. I want the B to be separate from the I. One of you, bless your heart, you're gonna put the I here. And I'm gonna get salty. Okay. I need the A, the B, and then the I all by itself last. Okay. And that is it for this unit. Okay. So working on your, where we at today? 4-8. Let's go. Have a good day.